Well, you may have woken up to the headline this week about that federal settlement between the National Association of Realtors and home sellers. It has sparked a lot of questions about who this actually benefits. Earlier this week, I spoke with real estate expert Vincent Arcuri about why it's not that simple. So how did this whole thing start? This lawsuit sort of got dropped on America and people woke up to this headline and they're trying to figure out who wins and who loses. Where did this whole thing start?
Well, it started in Illinois and Missouri, where a group of homeowners sued the National Association of Realtors over a price fixing, where they said, hey, real estate agents are conspiring to fix commissions nationwide against consumers. That's basically where it started.
So now it appears, at least on the surface, it's, the reporting is that the seller doesn't have to pay the commission fee. Does that mean the seller wins in this settlement, in this deal, if you're selling your home when it goes into effect in July, or is that not necessarily the case?
I think it's going to be a case-by-case basis, because where it boils down to now is that consumers pay their listing agent, who splits that commission with the agent that brings the buyer, and that amount is visible in our MLS system. Well, what this case is, if it goes through in July, if the federal courts approve it, it's going to eliminate that, where a real estate agent can no longer see any compensation in the MLS. So for sellers, what that's going to do is, instead of paying two real estate agents, at least on paper, they're going to be paying just their listing agent.
Would that not save them money?
Well, on paper, it looks like it, and I think a lot of the fanfare is, wow, this is going to save the sellers a fortune, but it not. What comes out doesn't come out in the rents, comes out in the wash, as they say, because now you've got another agent with zero compensation. He's going to be looking somewhere, and I think now if this passes again, a buyer is going to be required to sign basically what a seller signs is a listing agreement. They're going to have to sign a buyer's agreement with a commission amount that agent expects to earn in the transaction.
Okay, so is it bad news for the buyer? Or I hear reports that other companies are floating this idea of a flat fee for a buyer that would be under $10,000. Is this bad news if you're trying to buy a home right now?
Well, I do think it is, because the real estate agents are still going to be able to negotiate a fee just like they do now. And I don't think there was ever any of this price fixing, because you can drive around Tampa, you see billboards with brokerages that'll list your home for 2%. There was never this price fixing that's alleged in this lawsuit. But I think for a consumer, if you're buying a home now, a VA, for example, the VA buyer can go in with zero money down. That's going to change now, because the real estate agent's going to be looking for compensation.
It's also a one-size-fits-all sort of settlement here. I mean, you look at markets like Houston, Phoenix, Atlanta, you look at what you get for your money when you go on Zillow versus Tampa, Miami. It's night and day. I mean, the inventory, it's not the same. Housing is tight in Florida.
Yeah, for me, I think that for luxury home buyers and sellers, this isn't really going to have an impact on them. But for the average Joe and first-time home buyers, it literally increases the cost of a first-time home buyer.
All right,
absolutely.
Vincent Arcuri,
hey,
thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Thank
Thanks.
you. And we will talk about that topic and so much more this weekend on Full Circle Florida, including what this week's round of primaries revealed about the rest of 2024 and how to stay sane during this election year and the presidential rematch 7 months away. Join me right here Sunday morning at 8:30 for Full Circle Florida.